friends, teaching children about family is very important. Today's video is all about family and I'm uploading it at this time as it's International Family Day on 15th of May. What better time to teach children about family? Welcome to Happiness Mantra. Do subscribe for more such videos if you're new here and remember to like this one. What is a family? People living together by ties of marriage, blood, or adoption as a single unit is called a family. What this means is that everyone who lives together under a roof, it could be for any reason, becomes a family. But yes, friends sharing a room together would not be a family in the correct and truest sense. Of course, they start behaving like family members, loving and caring for each other. But the idea of a family is that you need to be connected through marriage, blood, or by adoption. Now, the most important thing today in this video, I think, is talking about the importance of a family with your children. A family is very important because it provides love, protection, and guidance to the children. Moreover, it teaches the values that we want our children to imbibe. Our culture, all our traditions are passed on to the younger generation through family. A family provides a sense of belongingness. We feel we have a place to come back to. We have a legacy. We have people connected to us. That is very essential. A family sets the stage for all future relationships and interactions. After all, you must have heard family is the first school. Family is the first place we form relationships. We start loving. We start caring for each other. We learn how to share. We learn how to resolve our anger. We learn how to communicate. Everything starts with the family. If family relationships are good, if the parenting styles we are using are effective, the child will grow up to be a complete and a happy individual, which is what is essential. Emotional regulation is something which a family teaches, which is the reason these days there's so much stress on parenting. Positive parenting, gentle parenting, these are all very key terms and in words which we use regularly. They all emphasize the role of the family in bringing up a child. And that is the key. That is why a family is important. And not just for the children, for us as adults also, a family is a powerhouse of support. Now we come to the types of families. Here I'll be covering the three major types. Usually textbooks will involve the nuclear and the joint family as types of family, but I also have included a single parent family. The reason I've done that is in today's scenario, there would be at least 2 to 3% children who are in this category, who are single parent, part of a single parent family. And so for such children, it is important that they understand their role, and other children should also understand that it is completely okay to have a single parent family. Coming to a nuclear family. What exactly is a nuclear family? A family that has a pair of adults, father and mother, with their children is called a small family or a nuclear family. These days, most modern families, most people living in cities are a part of the nuclear family. For some reason or the other, they are not able to manage in a joint family. Maybe the home is smaller, they need to move out for earning, or for whatever other reason. Nuclear families are the trend today. They are very, very common. Now, what are the advantages of a nuclear family? It offers more privacy, of course, because since there are just two adults in the family, there would be more privacy, there would be more freedom. Children become responsible and independent earlier. As part of a nuclear family, small chores to do. There are certain things which you expect the child to finish himself or herself. This makes them responsible, and of course it gives them a sense of independence. We let them explore, we let them do things when we feel that they are capable enough of doing it. There's less financial burden if there is a single earning member. Now, a single member in a family of 3 or 4 uses the same amount of income in a different way, but if that same person is supporting a 6 or 8 member family, then of course there would be financial burden and stress. So at times, having a nuclear family eases financial burden. And of course, there's more freedom of choice. Since you're financially more independent, you have more choices, you have more options, you're free to explore new areas, to work out things in different ways. Now, the disadvantages of a nuclear family. Number 1 and most important is that there's less quality time for children, especially if both parents are working. Now, here I'd like to mention that I've often said that quality time is the key here, not the quantity of time. So even if you're working and you're able to spend like 20 minutes or 30 minutes completely with the child, it is sufficient. Of course, you can add more time over the weekends or during the holidays, so you don't have to feel guilty about spending less time, as long as the time that you spend is quality time. Less support system in case of medical or financial difficulties. This, I feel, is a very major disadvantage of a nuclear family, because what happens is that since there are just 2 adults and 1 or 2 children in the family, in case someone falls ill, the entire burden comes on a single person to take care of the other members, to take care of the sick person, and to look after the house. So it becomes a little tedious and difficult to manage. Sometimes it leads to feeling of loneliness. Especially again here, what happens is if one partner is working and the other is not, then in either of the cases, loneliness does creep in. There would be no adult interaction or maybe limited adult interaction. Again here, I'd like to mention that it totally depends on how you structure your family, how you structure your time. If you're able to give enough time to each other as a couple as well as parents, then this should not be a problem. Moreover, in today's world of gadgets, you can keep in touch with all other people, friends, other family members very comfortably and avoid this feeling of loneliness. More household responsibilities on one person. Again, even if both the adults are sharing household responsibilities, of course, the burden is more compared to that in a joint family. Now let's come to what is a joint family. A joint family or a big family is large in size. It usually includes members of 3 or more generations, such as grandparents, parents, siblings, uncles, aunts, and cousins living together. In the Indian context, basically Dada, Dadi, Chacha, Chachi, all of them living together plus their children would form a joint family. Now, advantages of a joint family. There is a lot of social interaction for the children. At every point of time, there's someone or the other to talk to, someone or the other to interact with. So that is a major advantage, and such children usually develop communication skills much faster. Work sharing, like I mentioned, in a nuclear family, even if both adults are sharing the work, it is quite a lot. So in a joint family, since the adult members are more, work sharing becomes much easier. You can have clearly defined roles, plus of course you could share with each other. There's more financial freedom if earning members are more. Like I said, it's both a bane and a boon. If earning members are more within the family, then the income pools up. But if one member is earning for the entire joint family, then it is a financial burden. More adjustment and adaptability. Of course, since there are more members and more adult members, I would say, There is a lot of adjustment, compromise which is required, and this helps to mellow down your personality. It helps you to understand the other person's point of view. It helps to see and adjust and change according to situation, which I feel can be an advantage. And of course, a better support system. In case there's any trouble, any problem, any medical emergency, any kind of issue that comes in, you have someone at hand to depend on. Disadvantages of a joint family. Now, of course, like everything has two sides. So if there are a lot of advantages, there would be a couple of disadvantages as well. First and foremost is lack of independence and privacy. Of course, since you're all living together, it is a little difficult to get private time for each other, or expect that there would be no interference in what you're doing or how you are working, living. So of course, like I mentioned, since some adjustments are necessary, privacy has to be compromised on. Opinion may not be heard. Now here, sometimes in a joint family, the opinion or the decision of the eldest member usually becomes mandatory for the others to comply with. In that case, often the younger members feel that their opinion is not taken into consideration. Again, it totally depends on the structure of the family and the relationship between the members. This is not always true. More possibility of conflicts. Of course, the more the people, the more the chances of a conflict. But conflict resolution is what is important. Lack of accountability. Now, by this what I mean is that in a joint family, since everyone has shared roles, you cannot really hold one person responsible or accountable for something unless the work is clearly defined, unless their roles are clearly defined, which is usually not the case in joint families. So there is a lack of accountability, and sometimes one person may feel overburdened and feel that only he or she is contributing to the entire family, which may or may not be the case. Of course, needs compromise and adjustment. This is an advantage as well as a disadvantage, because sometimes you compromise so much that you lose yourself. That should not happen. Finally, we come to a single parent family. A single parent family is one where young children live together with a single parent, a father or a mother, not both. It usually happens if there is a death in the family, if the parents are separated or divorced. Advantages of a single parent family. Number one and most important is there's absolutely no conflict in parenting style. Since you're the only adult, it is completely up to you how you bring up the child. You can give undivided attention. Children become responsible faster, similar to a nuclear family, because of course, since they are the only other member in the family, they're expected to hold up their end and their share of things. And there are stronger emotional bonds because of course, human beings are emotional creatures. So if we are living day in and day out with someone, we will get emotionally attached to them. We will understand them better. We will compromise for them out of love, out of care. So even the children learn that. Disadvantages of a single parent family. There could be financial problems, especially if the earning member is the one who is missing or died or is not willing to give financial support during a divorce. Then the family who's left out could face financial issues. The parent is overburdened with work and chores. Usually single parent families, the adult is working. The adult needs to be financially independent, so they are working. They get less time for the family, less time for the children, but they learn to juggle the entire situation and carve time. Lack of discipline in children. This often happens because structure and discipline is a little missing since there's no adult around for a very long period of time, especially when the parent is at work. Again, it totally depends on how you structure the day, how you follow up, who the child is with during your absence. All these are things that need to be taken into consideration before reaching a conclusion that all children from single parent family lack discipline. It's not like that. It could be possible. I hope so far you've enjoyed the video and you have picked up a lot of pointers which will be helpful for the children when they are doing their EVS or science work. Do share in the comments what kind of family you have and why do you love your family. A family looks after each other and shares responsibilities together. They celebrate festivals and other occasions together. They make the world a happier, livelier, and a wonderful place. Thank you.